Hi, I'm Rick Dior, and I'm going to show you a couple new practice pads today that I've been working with. I'm always recommending pads to students. Some are not available anymore, and Sabian's quiet tone just keeps getting weirder and weirder. For a while they'll get it right, and then they'll go to cheaper parts, and they'll be bad. Recently I had a student that bought one, and I don't know what they did, but it was horrible again. So they fixed it for a while, and now they're going cheap. So I'm not recommending that pad anymore. It's just too unpredictable. So I've been shopping around, buying pads, so I can recommend them to my students. So we have two today that I kind of like. There's things I don't like about them. We'll talk about those. This is my old standby pad, the Ludwig version of 359, the 10-inch version, the vintage. These are so hard to find that I don't really recommend them, but it is my favorite pad ever made. It's just got the best response. So you can play buzz rolls on it, open stuff. It just feels great. It is loud though. Sometimes if it's too loud, you can take just one of these microfiber cloths and just put it on there. The sticks I'll be using today, 3 different pairs to show you some variation. I got a pair of zebra wood concert sticks. These are, I believe these are 66 grams. I have a pair of really heavy marching band leopard wood sticks that I made recently. These are 100 grams. They're heavy and thick. And finally, I have my pair of warm-up sticks, this Purple Heart reverse tip pair. So we'll go through these different ones to let you know what they sound like on here. So first, to my left, your right, we have this Ahead practice pad. I wrote down some numbers here. This is called the S-Hoop 10-inch chrome. They make a lot of different versions of this pad. It is a rubber pad. I'm not a huge fan of rubber pads. Those of you who watch this channel know that I've done several practice pad videos. So rubber's not my favorite thing, but as far as rubber pads go, this is probably the best one I've ever played. The rubber is not too loose, so it's got a similar kind of very tight drum feel. You can play buzz rolls with difficulty. They never sound good on rubber, but it's also got a snare sound, not great. So if that's annoying to you, you can try to put a towel over it, like this. Helps a tiny bit, not much. It almost sounds like there's something loose in there. It does not bother me. And you can tune it. You can tighten it up to change that response slightly. So it is a good pad. It's a good feeling pad. You can get these for around $65. They're not expensive. Unless you want to tear up your sticks, I do not recommend doing rim shots on it. That's a tricky thing with pads. We'll get to that in a minute with this one. But you will destroy your sticks pretty quickly. And if you buy expensive sticks, like my sticks, you don't want to do that. But for regular cheap old marching sticks, I think it would be fine. Now, again, the pad is the softest one I have here. So if you want a soft pad, this is your pad, all right? So I do recommend this. You see I have all of these mounted on a snare drum stand. This one is meant to go on a snare drum or a stand. Let me see under here. Yeah, it doesn't really have the, it doesn't really have any kind of mounting. The only one that you can mount on a dedicated cymbal stand is this old Ludwig. This one, the Tama as well, needs to go on a snare drum or a stand like I have here. If you put it on a snare drum, you get a little bit of snare action. Now they do make this a head pad in a 14-inch version, which will fit right on top of a regular snare drum, so that's handy. Okay, so that's that. Now we get to this Tama pad, which is very intriguing. When I first saw it, I said, I just need to check one of these out because it looked really interesting, especially because it has this rubber rim. So a lot of times I'll be working with students on their I have some students who play in drum corps, and I have some students who do marching band, and there's rim shots. So and that's hard to duplicate on a pad. without tearing up your sticks, if you have nice sticks, once again. So this is great. I have taken the Sabian quiet tones and put some rubber tubing around there, sort of like insulation you could buy at Home Depot or Lowe's. But it's not the same as this. This is a dedicated rim, and I love that about this pad. Now the rest of it, not so great. So it's got this mesh head, and again, those of you who watch this channel know I am allergic to mesh heads. I don't like the way they feel. They tear up your sticks terribly. So the good news with this pad is with the regular drum key, you can loosen it, and you can, I'll show you right there, you can put a new head on it, a different head. So I am in the process of modifying this pad, and I'm going to do a separate video where I show you how I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do that today because I got all this gear, but after I finish this video, I'm just going to focus on this pad and modify it and put a real head on there. And I'm going to just put a Remo 12-inch Ambassador on here, but you do have to modify it a little bit to get it to feel good. So the idea with this pad, it's supposed to sound and feel like a real snare drum. It's got a good bounce to it. And it's got that kind of meshy, kind of ugly sound. But the rim is great. I have no fear there of hurting these sticks. Now, one thing I do on any pad that I use with expensive sticks is I have these little cap covers, and I'll put them over the tension rods here. So there's no chance of hitting those. So this is something you can buy on Amazon or anywhere super cheap. And I have this on this pad as well. You can see these here. Because, again, you don't want to ding up your sticks. I'm just kind of anal retentive about that. Okay? So now there's no danger. So we pick up this heavier pair of leopard wood marching sticks. This sucker's loud. And the Purple Heart. Now with the mesh heads, you got to be careful because 5 minutes isn't a problem, but when you play on this thing for a couple hours, and I practice for many hours every day, you will tear up the tips of your stick with mesh. So one thing you can do is you could take this big fat snare drum muffle here, and you can put that there, and the feel is virtually identical, and you will not tear up your sticks at all, because this cloth acts like a buffer between that mesh. Of course, this won't be a problem once I modify it. But I do like the way this sounds and feels with this muffler on here. So it feels great with this muffler, and I don't have to worry about hurting my stick. So I just wanted to show you this, and I'm going to give you the number of this thing. It's called the Tama True Touch AAD 10-inch snare pad. I think it's the TTSD10. I'll put it on the screen here. Okay, so again, practice pads are important to me because I practice so much all over the place. A lot of times I'll practice in the symphony hall, and I don't want to disturb people, so I'll use a pad, okay? And every day when I get up in the morning, I put these warm-up videos on this channel. I'm practicing. Now I'm switching pads all the time too, so anything to switch up your routine, make it more interesting. So the next video will be featuring this Tama pad, and I'm going to change the head and show you how I modify it. Thanks.